Okay, sis, the one, the only student doctor at a Bagbo. That's the only way you can address me now. I don't want y'all to call me anything else, because y'all better put some respect. Hey Poohs, it's your HPIC. If you don't know what that means you do not follow me on the Instagram, so you should go ahead and follow me. If you are not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. If you are returning, thank you so much for sticking with your girl. What is up, everybody? How's everyone doing? I should have filmed this like 100,000 years ago, but your girl's busy getting her degree, her MD. So, you know, but I figured I did a lot of work yesterday. I was studying for like 100,000 hours yesterday. So I was like, today is gonna be self-care day, and I'm gonna use today to also just film a video and talk to you guys, give you guys an update. I know I haven't really posted any like personable talking to you guys kind of videos, so I said let me get on that for my peoples. Your girl has officially completed her first week of classes in medical school, and wow, 7 days down, only 1,379 more days left to go before I graduate. But honestly, I was just so worried. Oh my gosh, I was just so worried about starting medical school, just because for those who don't know, I took 2 gap years, so I've actually been out of school for a little while. And even though I took physics my first year, it was like one night class. You know, I'm not undermining how hard it was, but it was, you know, one night class, and it was something that I felt doable while, you know, going to work and stuff. And I was just kind of afraid of how like this whole, I don't know, I was afraid of how this whole workload thing was gonna work out with, you know, being a full-time student again and everything. But honestly, so far so good. You know, something in me just snapped the moment school started. I was like, your girl is not taking any L's in medical school, because I know what happened when I was acting like a pterodactyl in undergrad, right? Like, I didn't have my ish together early on, and you know, I was super lost, and I didn't really like get the memo and figure out what I needed to do until like I was almost graduating Stanford. And I've always told myself that when I start medical school, I just don't want to put myself in that same situation again, and I don't want to like not get the memo earlier on, and I don't want to like, you know, be behind or anything. So I don't know, something me just snapped, and I just was in like just full like committed to learning, you know, committed to like just doing well. And to be honest, I'm committed to getting all A's in medical school. And the funny thing is, my school is pass fail, so honestly your grades don't really matter to a certain extent. As long as you get a C, you get a P, a pass on your medical school transcript. So the concept of still needing to get A's is not really necessary anymore, and I kind of like that, right? Because being pre-med, we're taught, oh my gosh, like I have to get an A, I have to do well in this class or else my life is over, which is not always true. In some cases it is, some cases it's not. But like, we're always told you have to do well, and like I know I put a lot of pressure on myself my senior year. I was like, I have to get all A's in order for me to like prove myself to medical school, and in order for me to like really get to where I want to be. And here in medical school, it's kind of like, here in medical school, it's like they don't want you to fail. Like, no one, you know, wants you to fail, and as long as you do your part, you're not gonna fail. And I remember, I think the first day of biostats, I was talking to the professor, because you know, I'm the kind of person, I'm asking questions like, where the practice problems, what we gotta do, and he was like, you seem kind of worried about your grade. In the back of my head, I'm like, yes, Pooh, your girl don't want to fail. But he was just kind of like, you know, you're not gonna fail, you have the whole class here with you, you have me, and all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of comforting to hear, and it felt good to know that like there's really not that pressure to like one up somebody in my class, right? Like, I don't really care. To a certain extent, I don't really care how someone else beside me is doing, right? Because as long as I pass, as long as they pass, we are good to go and we can move on, you know? Even though it's pass fail, I want to hold myself to a high standard, and just, even if I don't get all A's, just the behaving and having that A mentality, so I don't lose momentum and focusing, so I don't feel like, oh, well, I don't have to study as hard, or I don't have to do as much work, because as long as I get like, you know, know, a 70, I'm good. So I want to escape that mindset. I don't want to like ever fall into that place where I get lazy with studying because I'm like, oh, I just need to, you know, get a 55% on my final. You know, I'm honestly just like grateful to be here. Like, that's really the truth. Like, that's all I can say. I'm just super grateful to have the privilege, have the honor to be learning, right? Like, grateful to be in the place where I get to learn about the human body, grateful to be in a place where I'm following my dreams. I'm hopefully gonna make an impact on the world. Like, I feel like, and I was talking about this on my Instagram live, which another reason why you guys should follow me on the Instagrams, because I just will randomly go on live and just chat. And like, it's so funny because some people would comment during my lives and say like they feel like they're on FaceTime with me, because the way I talk, y'all, I just be like, I be talking to y'all like y'all my homegirl or homeboy. So follow me on the Instagrams. But I was on Instagram and I was talking about how appreciative and grateful and humbled I am to be receiving the education, and even having a college education is something that I know I've taken for granted. I've been so privileged to never actively have to feel like, oh, I don't know if I can go to school, or I don't know if that's going to be accessible to me. It's something that so many people yearn for, right? Something that like I haven't recognized that is not a universal privilege that everyone has. And I think it's really important to check your privilege. It's important to recognize the things you take for granted and be grateful, and use them as point of contacts for gratitude. Literally, I kind of teared up as I was thinking about it, because I was just like, wow, like, who am I that God saw it fit to bless in this way? You know, who am I that I'm able to pursue my dream? Who am I that I am here in medical school? It's just, it's so crazy, because for so long I've been talking about, I want to be a doctor, I want to go to medical school, that's my goal. Since high school I've always talked about wanting to be a doctor. See me actually living it is kind of crazy, you know? And it also just reminds me of like the power of just manifesting what you want for yourself. Manifestation comes with hard work, it comes with prayer. There's so many things that are incorporated to it. I just look back at my life and I'm just like, the power of your tongue is just undeniable. What you say about yourself, what you wish on yourself, what you say you will and won't accomplish truly will come to pass, you know? God has given us the power of the tongue, which is a self-fulfilling prophecy, you know? And if you say and manifest something positive into your life, and you put the action behind it, and you also pray about it, there's no way it cannot come to pass. I'm too blessed, you know? God just loves me too much, you know, just too much. And I gladly receive the love. For all of you guys, as you pursue medicine, as you speak positivity into your life, as you claim what you want to see happen in your life, you cannot help but just be like, wow, I said it, I did it, I'm here, you know? And I just can't wait for that moment to happen to every single one of you guys, right? Like I tell you, it just, as much as I'm just thinking about the final exam I have in 2 weeks, right? Thinking about the quizzes I have this week, the assignments I have, in the midst of it all, I'm just like, I don't know, I'm on this like high of gratitude. On another note, a lot of you guys have been asking, you know, where I'm at, what did I ultimately decide? Because, you know, I think like the last video I had like really posted was saying I wasn't sure I could afford my dream school. I ended up not going to the school that for so, I'm gonna stop calling it my dream school. I ended up not going to the school that for so long I had envisioned myself at. I just was not receiving enough scholarship money for me to comfortably go to that school, knowing the loan burden I would have upon graduation. And if you don't know, Keck is quite pricey, Pooh. It is a pricey Pooh school. And while I was grateful for the scholarship I did receive, they couldn't match an offer I'd received at a different school. If you know me, I should make a video on this, because Seun the scammer don't play around with money. I am debt averse. I am allergic to debt. That's just the truth. I'm allergic to debt. And if I have it, like when I applied to medical school, I ended up, by the time I finished all my interviews, I was like $8,000 in debt on my credit card, just from like applications, traveling, all that kind of stuff, an iPad, but we digress from that, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I said, God forbid I walk into medical school with this credit card debt. So I was pretty aggressive about paying it off while I was still working. And you know, I was able to pay it off in like 6 months, which is pretty good, you know? So I am debt averse, and I wanted to set myself up for financial freedom sooner in life. life, and I felt the best way to do that was to go to a school that allowed me to have that financial freedom upon graduation. And financial freedom doesn't necessarily mean debt free. However, I wanted to minimize how much debt I would have to take out for school. I made that decision, and to be honest, I'm very content with my decision and I'm happy where I'm at. And a lot of people have been like, oh, where are you located? And the truth is, and I'm just gonna say it here because, you know, I'm not sharing that information right now. Like, I just share so much about myself. I'm a pretty open book as much as I, you know, choose to be. I just want to protect my privacy, my safety. So I'm just not gonna share where I'm going to medical school for right now. I just want to protect my privacy, and I ask that people as well respect that and respect that boundary that I hold. I just want to share my journey without feeling that that my worth or the validity of my journey is attached to where I'm going to school, right? And I don't feel that people knowing where I go to school will inhibit me from giving advice. I don't think it will change the way I engage with my followers, and I just honestly, it's none of your business, and it won't stop you guys from getting into medical school. And that's the truth. That's just the truth. Whether you like it or not, argue with your boyfriend, not me. Y'all, your girl needs to hit the gym because the devil is a liar. Y'all, I am so terrible. So I'm in the group chat with all 8 of us black people in my class, and I haven't saved anyone's number except for my roommate. So as people are texting, I'm just seeing numbers and I'm not knowing who's who. And someone just made a funny comment, so I'm like, now I gotta go see whose number is who to know who made that funny comment. I knew it had to be the Nigerian girl. The way she said that message, I knew. Y'all, we just have been like clowning our school because there's only 8 of us, and they put on the website that there's. So we were just like, don't be out here adding numbers when you know there ain't no numbers to be adding. Like, get your whole life together. Out here deceiving the children. Please do better. But honestly, like I was saying, it is so important not only to manifest what you want for yourself in life, but to be okay with and understand that when things don't go your way, there is a reason and there's a purpose that has happened. Let me tell y'all a story, because y'all know I love telling stories. Also, you may notice I zoomed out. That's because, you know, mind your business. But let me tell you a story. So my senior year, while I was looking for a job, because I was like, I have to have a job lined up before I graduate so I know what I'm doing, where I know I'm going, and all that kind of stuff. I had my heart set on being a TA. I wanted to be a TA for the like bio core, and the reason why was because I was like, okay, it allows me to like stay at Stanford, and at the same time, like, I'll be able to be teaching content and stuff that I'm gonna have to know for my MCAT anyway, so it's gonna work out. Not only am I, you know, teaching and being a mentor and all that kind of stuff, but I could also like do this to learn for my own selfish and personal gains of doing better on the MCAT. And I got an interview for the job, and I was super excited, y'all. Super excited. Like, I had been practicing. I had friends pretend to be students, you know, and all that kind of stuff. Like, I had spent so much time preparing the lesson plan, you know, practicing, making sure that it was all good and ready for the interview, because I wanted to ace this interview and I wanted it to be perfect, so they had no reason not to give me the job. And I got into the interview, and it just so happened that my mentor, who was like my faculty advisor for my thesis project, as well as my major, as well as who ultimately ended up being one of my letters of recommendation for medical school, was on the hiring committee. Like, he was there as well, and I was like, perfect, you know, he already knows I want this job. I'm about to impress them with my teaching skills, and it's gonna be all good. Now, the only thing that was a bit worrisome is I didn't do as well in those classes, right? I went from like B's to C's in those, from C's to B's in those classes, but my most recent coursework, like I was taking human physiology, I just finished like organic chemistry and stuff, I had been getting A's. So I felt that, okay, my most recent coursework could show them that I know what I'm doing. So after, I felt so good about the interview, like so good. I was just like, it went well. I think I impressed them. I just felt like everyone around me knew how much I wanted the job and knew that like the job would have been perfect for me, right? And I ended up getting an email saying that I didn't get the job. And y'all, when I tell you, I had so many emotions. I think the first one obviously was sadness, because I'm just like, dang, this was the one thing I was counting on being my post-grad job. Now I have to like go back to job hunting, and that had been so hard, you know? So that was like the first first thing. But then the second thing was I was mad at my faculty advisor. I was like, did you not put in a good word for your girl? Like how you gonna play me like this? And I was just mad at the whole department, because I was just like, I felt like I deserved this. Like, I felt like this is what this job belonged to me and this is what I was supposed to do, and it was part of the plan I had for myself. As we know, our plans for ourselves may not align with the plans God has for us. But I was so angry and I held so much anger. I was just so hurt. I hate the whole Humbile department. Don't ask me for nothing, don't claim me, no nothing. And I had held the anger until literally even at my commencement, even at my graduation, when I was given my degree. I was just like, I'm not effing with none of you hoes. Like, don't look at me, don't smile at me, don't tell me congratulations. I'm just here to get my degree and get out, right? That's how angry I was for so long, which in retrospect was not healthy. One, because anger only really hurts you, and hatred only really hurts, I don't want to use the word hatred because I didn't like hate them, but it only hurts you at the end of the day, right? Whoever hurts you or whatever is living their life and you're dealing with the repercussions of the emotions, right? It wasn't healthy for me to hold on to it for so long. But also, I didn't understand at the time that God had a different plan for me, and the plan he had for me aligned perfectly with what was going to help me get into medical school. After I didn't get the job, I went back to job search, and I was like, all right, your girl we gotta find something at this point, because, a Pooh can't be unemployed in these streets, right? And it just so happened that there was this one particular job that I was supposed to apply for, but I got too lazy. I was just like, I don't feel like doing this, so I'm not gonna apply. And it was a job at a clinic, at a community health clinic. When it was initially due, I chose not to apply because I was just like, I'm gonna be a TA anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I actually didn't apply. However, as God would have it, there was an email that went out saying that there were still a few open positions, right? Because it was like a fellowship through Stanford, but you work with their community partners. So it was a Stanford fellowship, but you work through community partners, right? The Center for Public Service, or at our school, had sent out an email saying, oh, we still have a couple fellowship positions open. Like, these are last minute positions open. It wasn't even apply at this point. It was just send in your resume and like a cover letter, right? Because remember, like back in, I think back in February, you had to do a whole application, right? And go through rounds of interviews. But I think at this point they were still looking for people. So it was just like, send your resume and let us know. And it just got, as God would have it, the position I always intended on applying for back in February, in April, was still open. So when I saw that email, I immediately jumped on it. I already had my resume because your girl had been applying to jobs to no avail. And I sent in a cover letter for that job, and I got an interview. And I interviewed. I was told that I was actually the favorite candidate of all the interviews, hence why I got the job. I got the fellowship, right? I was happy to be employed. I was like, okay, great. The pay wasn't great, but I was just like, at least we have something we have something to do when we graduate. And even though I was still angry about not getting the TA job, it didn't dawn on me how God had orchestrated this until months later, right? There was no way I would have been able to predict this, right? At the time of me graduating, I had some clinical experience, but I didn't have a lot of clinical experience. And looking back now, I don't think I had enough clinical experience to have made my application competitive. And during my time at the community health center, I learned so much that there was no way I would have learned any of this stuff if I was a TA for a science class. There was no way I would have learned this stuff. Absolutely no way. And it just so happened it was my experiences from that job that informed my personal statement as well as my secondaries. And it informed a lot of the way I understand community health, the way I understand working in an underserved community, the way I understand what it really is like being a doctor for a high need area, right? And I would have never ever gotten that kind of perspective if I did not get that job. And I look back and I'm like, wow, God's ways are not our own. And when God has said no to something and we can be sad about it, we have to recognize and we have to take solace in that there's something better and that there's a reason. And every time I look back, I'm like, Lord, I would not be where I am today. My application would not have been what it is today if not for my story, if not for me not getting that job. Because it was that same experience of not getting that job job that also informed the secondary I wrote for a school I got into. Like if you go on what USC's, one of their secondary prompts asks, describe a time you did not get something you thought you deserved. And I wrote about not getting that job. And it's so crazy how God and life works. Not only did that same rejection inform a story that I told for a secondary, it also put me in a place to get a job that was meant for me and that would have helped me in my application, right? And understand that everything happens for a reason. And sometimes things don't go the way we plan them to go. They don't go the way we want them to. We can be sad about it. It's okay to mourn, right? Like I was angry for months. Like I'm the kind of person now, like I don't hold anger, you know, I don't stay angry too long. I'm just like, I'm just a Pooh out in the streets. But when I tell you I was angry for months, right? Do I recommend being angry that long? No. However, I'm saying it's okay to feel emotion. It's okay to be upset and mourn the loss of something and mourn not being able to get something. However, do not let it define you. Pray and recognize that God has a bigger purpose and a bigger plan. Maybe God is asking me to take a step back and reevaluate what's happening in my life. Maybe God is leading me, pushing me, giving me that push to pursue something else I would have never pursued if this opportunity didn't get taken away from me. I want to see you dance. Oh yeah. Well, yes. Wow. I stand. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this chit chat with me while I was doing my makeup. Oh, your girl looks good. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just feeling this makeup look. If you liked what you saw, give this video a thumbs up. Comment something below. Tell me your thoughts about this video. Tell me something nice. Tell me what's going on in your life. Are you studying for the MCAT? Are you applying? I want to know. Let's talk. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and click the subscribe button so that you can be a part of the Pooh family, and at the same time just open up your cellular device and follow me on Instagram at @theprettymed_. If you are subscribed but you have not turned on your notification button, I just don't know what to tell you because I just don't know what to tell you. Go ahead and click the notification bell so you know every single time your HPIC upload another video, because I'm going to be taking you guys along my journey in medicine as well as other stuff. We'll see how it works out, but you don't want to miss a single video. You don't want to be that person who like just was missing in action. You didn't know what was going on, and ain't nobody here gonna catch you up. So make sure you are subscribed and you hit the notification bell so you can catch yourself up. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and run around my house or something. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in another video. I don't know what video it's gonna be, but I will see you in another one. Thank you guys so much for watching.